What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Surfing the Stream, where every week we are on a quest to find out what is the greatest movie of all time. Today I am taking a look at Mad Max Fury Road before I go see Furiosa later this week. I wanted to revisit it since Furiosa is a prequel to this movie, and I wanted to revisit for a couple different reasons. One, I wanted to get a video version of this review because when I did it a couple years ago, it was just strictly audio only. I did the entire Mad Max series audio only, so you can find that on Spotify, Apple Podcast, if you want to hear my in-depth thoughts on the entire series as a whole. So I wanted the video version of this review, right? But I also wanted to give it another watch. Mad Max Fury Road is the epitome of why I have a 2-watch rule for a lot of movies. The first time that I watched it, I didn't really give a shit about it, honestly. I wasn't really paying attention to it a whole lot. I'm going to be honest, I think I fell asleep at one point during that movie the first time that I watched it. And, movies, how much you like them or not is all based off of expectations and then your mindset going into the movie. I think that had a lot to do with it. But when everybody tells me that I'm an idiot for thinking that was a terrible movie or it was an okay movie at the time, I had to rewatch it. And like I said, that is why I have a 2-watch rule. And I absolutely fell in love with it the second time that I watched it. So the third watch, I was curious to know if I would love it more, love it the same, love it less. Because I have run into that movie, that type of movie before, 300, which Josh and I reviewed several months ago. That movie gets... I like that movie less and less the more that I like it. And there are some other movies that I love more and more as I watch them. So I was curious to know how this one would go. Mad Max Fury Road, I absolutely fucking love, guys. I think this is one of the greatest action movies of all time, bar none. If you have not seen Fury Road, this is one of those movies that you watch before you die. Like, this is an instant classic of a movie. And I love the fact that, yeah, maybe like dialogue-wise, it's not very heavy. It's very little on story. So the basis for the entire movie is Furiosa is taking a group of girls away from Immortan Joe, who is the overarching villain of this movie. He's like this self-proclaimed god. Everybody worships him as his deity, and like they will legitimately die for this guy. That story for itself is very, very basic. And then Mad Max gets thrown in there, and essentially whenever Immortan Joe finds out that Furiosa has taken off with his women that he breeds with, then starts the chase sequence. And this movie is 2 hours long of nothing but chase sequences. And it is one long chase scene movie with heavy metal. And that is the best way that I can describe this movie. It is over the top. It's silly. It's fucking awesome. It's heavy metal, action-packed. It is so fast-paced that it's almost kind of exhausting. I kind of compare it to August Burns Red because I love August Burns Red, but for the love of God, I can't listen to a lot of their music. Like, I'll listen to an album and I'm good for a little while because their music is so fast-paced. It's exhausting to me. And Fury Road is the exact same. At the end of the movie, I feel like I need to go take a shower because I've just sweated. I've been on the edge of my seat the entire movie. And the fact that they don't have a ton of dialogue in this movie makes it even better. Which, going into a movie like this, if you had told me, yeah, they hardly ever speak in this movie, I'd go, I mean, what's there to grab onto? How do I get attached to these characters if they don't have any dialogue or really kind of expand on their history or those characters? How do I get attached to them? Somehow they do it enough. Okay, I don't know. It's some form of slut magic from George Miller, but he's able to fucking do it in this movie because you do get attached to these characters for the most part. Mad Max being awesome, Furiosa being awesome in this movie, Nux, who is the he turns out like a villain of sorts. He's one of the followers for Immortan Joe, and essentially he is probably my favorite character in the entire movie because he's all about witness me, and they all say that when they're about to sacrifice themselves for Immortan Joe, and that's like their way of reaching the gates of Valhalla. And essentially, they want to go out like a badass. And a lot of them say, witness me, and then they die a shitty death, and they call him mediocre, which is awesome, by the way. So it's like dark humor woven through this movie, which is just pitch perfect. They don't do it a whole lot, but when they do, it fucking just nails it 100%. So Nux, he does that several times throughout the movie, and he fails. He fails to die. And then he gets that character arc at the very end where he says to witness me, and he sacrifices himself for Furiosa and the girls and Mad Max. And it works for me. It works for me. So despite the fact that there's not a whole lot of dialogue in this movie, like I said, some form of slut magic, they're able to hit this out of the park. And it's an absolute home run of a movie. If you have not seen Fury Road, why are you watching me? Okay? Why are you watching this review? You need to click out, go buy it, go rent it, whatever you gotta do. Watch this movie today. This is legitimately one of the best action movies of all time. You need to go watch it. I am so excited to go see Furiosa. It was a movie that, trailer-wise, watching the trailers, I wasn't super excited about. And honestly, I wasn't planning on going to theaters to see it. When everybody starts saying that Furiosa is as good as Fury Road, if not better, okay, like I'm 100% seeing this in theaters. Because I didn't see Fury Road all the way through until like a couple of years after it gotten released. So I'm going to be on the bandwagon this time, okay? I'm not waiting around. But let me know in the comments below of what you think about the Mad Max series and how excited are you for Furiosa to come out this week. But guys, that is going to be it from me. I'll catch y'all next time on another episode. Laters.